Hello, and welcome to the Pod Harrison channel of photography. I know I haven't done a video for a week or so, but maybe because time these days tends to go quite quick. Once you've come in from work and you've got yourself settled down, time more or less goes and evaporates really quickly. Today I'm going to be talking about where I've been today and the coming images that will be on my Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook and Twitter, mainly across both my YouTube channels, the Lighthouse production company that I've called it, and also my photography YouTube channel, which is mainly about photography content. But obviously, I'm also going to be talking about what I've been doing today and also about other things that I've got planned. So really, today I went to North Yorkshire and walked the line from Gotland to Gromont, and it's a 3.5 mile walk from Gotland to Gromont. More or less, when we got there, Gromont station was busy. For some odd reason, Gromont and Gotland are always busy, regardless of what time of year you go. And the sun was more or less in, and then obviously it disappeared for a while. I think it went behind the clouds most of the time because I'm now a photographer that likes to take different photos of a nice view. Like I've got a photo today of when I was walking back from Gotland Station to Gromont, and there's a bit of an incline towards the end, and you can see below the view of the hills, and then in the middle of that there is Gromont Station, where you can see steam trains heading on towards Whitby, and just looking really for some inspiration really today, because try to do something different, because as you walk towards Gromont you come through certain areas like Beck Hall and Bridgnorth, which is more or less on the way to Gromont. It's more or less, I've done the walk thousands of times anyway, and it's pretty much straightforward. It's more or less a beautiful national park in Yorkshire that you go through, and it's more or less a straightforward path. But there's other ways that you can go. There's still short walks, longer walks. It's more or less a nice relaxing walk that you can do. You can either, like what we do, is we get the train to Gotland from Gromont, have somewhere to eat, have a look round, and then walk back to Grosmont. We don't get the train. We just walk back, and then if we have time, go to the train sheds. But obviously this time didn't have time, and plus the weather was okay, but towards the end it started to rain a bit. Then it went off again, and then the sun came back out again. So the sun appeared for most of the day, and then he had this moment when it went behind the clouds, or because there were some beautiful shots there of the hills and the trees in the woods that you go through to get back to Grosmont, and I was basically got probably 20 photos today, probably, of waterfalls and trees hanging across the river as you go across Beckhall, which is the first bridge that you come to, and then there's Bridge North, and you come to this little village before you get back to Grosmont, which is like about a dozen or so houses in this small compact village. And then before you get back to Grosmont, you have a little section to the right is where the key majority of the trains are kept or stored. Spare like carriages that are probably being used or being bought and needing restoration work. I noticed there was a Caledonia sleeper carriage parked up there today, so it's obviously been there a while, because I haven't been to Grosmont for a long time, and they seem to be using a lot more of the diesel trains now, purely because I think there's a bit of a shortage on the coal that they use for the steam trains at the moment. So they are still using the steam trains, but not as frequent as they used to be at the moment, purely down to the shortage that there is of the coal. But it's been a beautiful day. I recommend the North Yorkshire line walk, where you don't exactly walk the line, you more or less walk beside the line at some point of the walk. But it's a lovely day out if the weather's nice. It's, if you like heritage sites, Grosmont to Cortland, or you can go from Grosmont to Pickering. That's as far as it goes, to Pickering station, and then get the train back. And then they do a special where you can go from Grosmont to Whitby or Pickering to Whitby in the summer month. I believe that is now full time now, I believe. It used to be just purely a summer run, but I think somewhere that I've heard that it's a permanent fixture on the line. But yeah, it's a nice day out. It's nice to sit in a carriage with a steam train or a diesel train pulling the carriage, and just sit back, watch the countryside go by, and There is some amazing scenery in Yorkshire that doesn't get the justice that it deserves, really, in photographs or film, because it is so beautiful. I mean, you can walk the path, sorry, that goes between Gromont and Gotland. I believe you can walk from Russell to Whitby, so I've been told. But I haven't actually seen what kind of path it is yet, so might have to do that one day maybe and to see where it goes. And I don't know really, I like walking these days. I mean, when I was younger, I probably, I don't want to walk that far. But as I'm getting older, I prefer to walk. I mean, like today we did the 3.5 mile walk, and we did it probably in 2.5 hours. Probably we stopped on the way to take some photographs of the scenery. I mean, you hardly miss using a mobile or miss going to the shops, even though I'm not a person that likes the shops anyway. But it's nice to be in the fresh air, smell and take in the smells in the countryside. And I do like taking photographs in the countryside because there's images there that you can make, and there's so much interest in different styles of images that you can create, especially when you've got the correct lighting. I mean, these days you can make an image slightly dark and then bring it back through Lightroom. That's what I do. I mean, if I make an image dark in the camera, I know I can bring it back in post-production these days, and there's so much you can do these days through post-production. Then you can afford to make things better or worse. I mean, sometimes you can make things worse and not get the correct result that you're looking for, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And obviously it's to look at a drone for camera, really. I know my camera is purely a camera only. It does take movies, but I haven't worked that part out yet. And I mess around with the settings on the camera, and I just like to experiment with things. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, it does. That's what we gotta do these days, and try and think outside of the box when we take an image. I prefer, when I go to places like Whitby or Scarborough, I like to take a certain style of a photo. I don't want to take what I've already seen on in some galleries or on anybody's posts on social media. I just like to take my own type of style on that photo rather than keep to what other people take, purely because I've seen majority of photos that have been done exactly the same about 20 times over, and to me, I'd rather take a different style of image, but the same image, but in a different way if I can. And that's my inspiration, really. I like to go to galleries and get some inspiration that way. I'll look at other people's work, either on Instagram or Facebook, or I look at videos on YouTube of other photographers and see what their photos are like and what they are taking these days, and just to get some different images, really, rather than going down the same old normal route. Do a bit different and do something that you can create but people can still like. And to me, photography is about creating memories. It's also creating your creation. So every week from now on, I'll be doing a certain topic on photography. For example, memories, the funny side of photography, and the serious side of photography. I mean, at the end of the day, we all snap photos either on our actual cameras or mobile phones or the devices. We are so used to now taking selfies of each other. It's becoming more and more common now that people are posting selfies of them or with friends or with the family or with the partners, or and there's becoming a lot more people interested in photography now, and which is good to see, really. It's more for some people it can be a hobby, or for some people turn it into a business. It depends on how or what you like to do with it, really. At the moment, I prefer it as a hobby because I think I'm still learning everything to do with photography, different styles, different techniques, and eventually I'd like to open my own gallery one day. That's my aim and goal, I hope. And also one day do a lot of portrait work or go into the fashion industry and take that way for a change. But you don't know. I have to wait and see. At the moment, weather has been a bit up and down recently, so I haven't been out much with my camera, but I have today. And I'm going to be looking at my images very shortly, so to see what they look like. And hopefully you can see them on my social media accounts. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook and Twitter. Please, if you like the video, subscribe, like, comment, and tell me about your interests in photography. I love to hear from my followers to see what type of photos they like to take and what are your interests in the world of photography. Well, I will see you next week in next week's video, and for now, I'll see you later. Bye for now.